Hi Les, look, we're here today with Les Walker, the Deputy Mayor of Townsville. I want to ask you a couple of questions about the Townsville economy. Obviously it's starting to improve and move forward, and there's a lot of exciting new redevelopment, especially the town centre itself.
Absolutely.
So thanks for taking the time today to talk to us, Les, really appreciate that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks. So can we ask you firstly, what's happening that's really exciting about the redevelopment of the town centre and other major projects in Townsville that you think will improve the economy and improve the need for housing, create jobs? Tell us more about that.
Well, we as a council have identified that we need to be in that space of a changing economy, and we've identified that there's some key areas that we need to work on to make Townsville a place that you can work, live and play. With the largest military base in Australia, Laverack, and we've identified that we need a new stadium. We need to be in the space of new energy, which is solar. We've got 3 approved solar farms, 2 under construction at the moment.
Wow.
One's over 1 million panels at Sun's Metal. The new stadium is a $250 million redevelopment in the CBD, which is a big game changer for our city heart. With a change in retail and the big box sort of retail space we have around the city, we realise we have to change the nature of what our central business district is, and that is a place where we can work, live and play, and that will include the stadium, new restaurants, new hotels, more entertainment, and that tapers into our waterfront, the Strand, which is an award-winning facility in the city. It's a signature location for Townsville. It's part of our marketing strategy. Yeah, it is, and it's part of our marketing strategy. So, and that's just a stone's throw from Magnetic Island, which is 20 minutes by high-speed cat.
Well, it's another area that a lot of people forget about is Magnetic Island, a beautiful tourist destination that probably most Australians don't realise is even there.
Well, it's 85% national park, and it's actually a suburb of Townsville, so it's a very cost-effective place to have a holiday. And it's still in its natural state, so you can go for a walk and see koalas, the military history, the locals are very friendly, you can be on the beach and no one else is there. So it's a great location. So we have got a lot to sell when it comes to tourism. We now have 2 international flights coming and going from the city, and that is one through to Papua New Guinea and direct flights to Bali. And we're working with other companies trying to get direct flights to New Zealand and direct flights to Singapore.
Fantastic. Yeah, that'll obviously boost the economy.
Absolutely.
What's happening with defence? There's some big changes out there with the Singaporean defence training.
Yeah, well, it's a $2.2 billion deal with the Singapore government. They want a home to train their military, and Townsville being the largest military base in Australia, they want to do a partnership between Townsville and Rockhampton, and that is Singapore dollars, 2.2 billion, which is equal to the Australian dollar. And they're going to build a lot of infrastructure in Townsville, which is part of their urban battlefield. So they're going to build high-rise to other facilities where they'll train in urban warfare, because they haven't got the land in Singapore. And we want that partnership, because we know for 18 weeks of the year we'll have 14,000 troops visiting Townsville, plus their families and friends.
And that's huge for Townsville, because obviously you've got to spend a lot of money in the economy.
Absolutely.
They're going to boost the need for housing. I suppose with all that construction in the city, it's going to boost the need for housing as well.
Absolutely. And Singapore has compulsory national service. So these people come, when the national service is on, they do this training 3 times during that service. So those same personnel will come to Townsville 3 times. And then what we found is the knock-on effects. After they get out of the defence, they actually revisit with family and friends. So there's an ongoing an economic benefit for many years to come. So we want to be a part of that story.
You want to be ahead of the game.
And we've got a proven track record in defence. We've got a big family of defence. We embrace that. And we've actually got some iconic locations in the city where we record military history.
Fantastic, fantastic. Listen, tell me about a new and exciting development I heard of south of the city, a Lend-Lease development. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, that's obviously going to be a big master plan development that'll go for years. What's happening there?
It's probably one of the biggest in Queensland of late. And that's the plan of that is 30,000 people will be living there over the next 40 years. So that's a satellite city in its own right. And that's all standalone with new school, retail, sporting facilities. The first stage is under construction now with 42 new house blocks, with the retail sector being constructed at the same time, right on the Bruce Highway to the south of the city. It's a real game changer.
How far would that be from the city, lads?
About 18 minutes drive time.
Oh, it's not far.
Not far at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
And we all know Lend-Lease don't go anywhere unless they see growth in an area, and serious growth and potential. So obviously that's an important point for us.
Absolutely.
As promoting areas that will give a high growth and high returns to clients. They must see a need for housing and a lot of jobs being created to do that.
Well, Lendlease has been working in this space for 17 years to get this project up and running.
Wow, 17 years.
17 years, because it was all about the timing and our city plan.
Yeah.
The timing's right. They realised that this is the time to start when things are a little bit slow on the uptake. We're at the turning point of our economy, and there's a lot of excitement since we've announced the stadium, the new solar farm, the upgrade of the Townsville port, the stadium, the CBD redevelopment, and we're putting in $30 million of new utilities, underground sewage and water. So we're gearing up for the new economies, the new work, live and play sort of format that we're trying to get into our CBD with 30,000 people living there by 2030. So there's a lot of areas and nodes around the city that we are working on. We're working with the Mater Hospital on their redevelopment. Their first stage is 6 new operating theatres. It's stages to be developed over the next 10 years for different stages, and the first stage will be done in the next 18 months, which is a 6
That's a big plus.
It is a big one. It's a big game changer. And we've got James Cook University, which is a massive, great university for our city, and it has international tourists from all over the world. And they do marine science, they do tropical medicine, and a lot of other stuff, vet science. And not far from the central business district of Townsville, we have the Australian Institute of Marine Science, which is the leading marine science research centre in the world. So it's well known around the world.
Well, you sit right on the Great Barrier, on the edge of the Great Barrier Reef.
Absolutely.
I mean, what a beautiful part of the world to be in.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be a great area for investment. I hear there's some work going on to the port too. Expansion there as well.
The state government, yeah, absolutely. The Townsville Port Authority with the state government is the state government owned asset. $1.1 billion to be spent over the next couple of years.
Right.
Well, I think it's about 7 years in total, with the full reconstruct and deepening and widening of the channel to take the bigger cargo ships, the bigger container ships, and to get more land-based activity, so more container storage areas and mineral storage areas, because there's a changing economy in mining as well. So there used to be traditional coal. Now we're getting into other areas. Zinc is part of that mining, zinc, gold, and precious minerals as well. Yeah. So we know that we have to be geared up for the future, because there's a changing economy. So we're in that space, and I just want to reinforce that. We're into aged care, education, we're making sure that we've got a work and play mindset for our CBD, a new stadium, with the 3 new solar farms that have been approved, that are on the go, 2 under construction, a 4th one in the process of looking at their application and hopefully approval, subject to some feedback from the community. And the Port Authority doing their bit. The Mater Hospital, we have a major public hospital. We've got the biggest military base in Australia. We've got Magnetic Island off the coast, and we've got one of the best foreshores and award-winning strand. So we're well positioned in shaping the way forward for our city to grow the next 30 to 50 years.
And that's the idea, and a vision forward, so that we know there's sustainable growth too for a long period of time.
Oh, well, absolutely. And we just had an approval from the state government for $250 million of a new water supply pipeline from the Vertigan Dam into the city, which is a 260 megalitre pipeline, which will carry us for another 50 years into the future. So we're even geared up for our water demand for the growth of our city.
Which is really important in a growing city with some issues in the past with water, so it's great you're addressing that. Tell me, do you think the Adani mega mine is going to have an impact on the Townsville economy as well?
Well, we haven't taken our eye off that game at all. We've just embraced Adani's head office. They've now established in Townsville with 80 staff, and now they're going through the process of recruiting staff in the mining and engineering side of the operation. So there's a lot more work to be done in that space. We're in the early phases of the fly-in, fly-out approvals. Hopefully we'll get the lion's share of that. We're hoping to get at least 500 personnel based in town that will fly in, fly out to their mine.
That's an impact on the housing need.
Absolutely, but not only that, the port, the movement of equipment in and out will be through the Townsville port. And we found that with our solar farms. When you're getting 1 million solar panels in just for one project, well, you're looking at a couple of thousand shipping containers of panels. So that's just one solar farm. So we're looking at around about 10 to 20,000 solar panels. 10 to 20,000 shipping containers with solar panels coming and going. Then we've got the mining sector with the growth of the coal with Adani. So we know that the port is going to be spiking at some point with a lot of freight, and they're geared up for that. So this is a changing economy. We're talking about the solar, the green energy, the mining sector changing some of its areas of the stuff they're targeting in mining besides coal. So there's an exciting time. We're just on the turn of a very bright future. We've had our knocks. We don't deny that. We've been through some really rough patches, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And we're one of those teams in council that we've identified some key areas that we need to be in to grow a city. But we want to take a lot of people with us on the journey. So we've been travelling internationally, talking to some key investors, and nationally around Australia. And now everybody's looking at Townsville, the opportunities to get in early and be a part of that game changer.
Look, mate, it sounds like you're right on the money, and you guys have done your research, and I really appreciate your time.
No,
there you have it, guys. Townsville is starting to come out of that correction cycle and really going into a growth cycle. Huge potential now for Townsville. PPA keeping it real. Until next time, guys.